Let me tell you a story about Elijah. Me and Elijah are such amazing friends. But when I first met him, he was Christine. And being Christine, he was so shy and scared and timid. Nothing like who Elijah actually is. And it's so weird because everything that Christine was, Elijah is not. Christine was comfortable. She was uncomfortable in her own skin. Now imagine this. In a world that we live in today where everybody is so accepting, everybody believes that they can be whoever they want to be, do whatever they want to do, live whatever life they want to live. But you have somebody who is uncomfortable being who they are right now. That is who Christine was. But that's not Elijah. So in boot camp, it was so hard for him because he had to be everything that the Navy told him he was. He had to live as a woman, had to act as a woman. He had to do what women do, but that's not Elijah. He's a man. He wants to be a man. He wants to be confident in his own skin, in his own body, wants to be portrayed the way he wants to be. Do what men do. Act the way men act. Imagine someone defining you as a person, telling you this is who you are, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how you need to act. And that's how he was every single day. As we were leaving boot camp, he said a couple of words to me, and I'll never forget it because it was so hard to hear. And as someone who loves to help people and to nurture people, I had no idea how to console Elijah. He said, I'll never feel like I can be who I want to be in the military. Just in January, the current administration passed a policy through the Supreme Court that will allow the military to prevent transgenders from joining. Now, how is it that in a society that is so accepting, so inclusive, we still, as the greatest military force on earth, are telling people, no, you cannot join because this is who you decide to be? In what world is this accurate? In what world is this fair? None. A retired general, someone who has climbed the ranks, someone who was so high up and knew all about the policies, how to create them, how to structure them, how to put them into place, said these words. I think that this is a mistake to lose that talent. Somebody with those attributes, the willingness and the capability to serve, not being welcome, is a negative message to send. Someone who has been there said these words. Now, how does that make us look as a country, saying that we have all of these respected generals, all of these respected people in positions, saying that this is a mistake, but we continue to allow it? The Supreme Court is allowing this to happen. Our administration also says that it costs more money to transition people than it does anything else, and so we cannot afford it. Now let's think about this. It costs 0.02% of the DoD's budget to transition anybody who is transgender in the military currently. And that's roughly about 4,000 people. But if you think about it, it costs 0.02% more, and studies have shown this. It costs 0.02% more the DoD to pay for Viagra and erectile dysfunction than it does to pay for transitioning transgenders. And that's absurd because we're out here saying that it costs more money to transition than it does anything else, but yet it does not. How can we portray any of these things? How can we be so discriminatory in our actions, but we are always pushing inclusion? We're pushing cohesion, but that's not what we're practicing. It doesn't make any sense. I urge you to go out, to tell people that this is not right, to make us stand for something that makes sense. Because things that make sense matter. Actions matter. And when you sit at home and do nothing and watch our administration handle our country the way it does, we accomplish nothing. We do nothing. We go nowhere. Leslie Feinberg, a very powerful influence in the LGBT community, said these words: like racism and all forms of prejudice, bigotry against transgender people is a deadly carcinogen. We are pitted against each other in order to keep us from seeing each other as allies. Genuine bonds of solidarity can be forged between people who respect each other's differences and are willing to fight their enemy together. We are the class that does the work of the world and can revolutionize it. We can win the true liberation.